What's going on, everybody? This is No Filter, a Nintendo podcast, and here is my review for Frost for the Nintendo Switch. Frost is developed by Studio Tenebris and published by Digerati, and is around $10 on Nintendo eShop. Frost is a strategy, card-based survival horror game, I guess you would say. It's very intriguing, and it's a single-player card game, so it's a little something different, and that's something I actually really appreciate about the game. And I'll tell you this right here. This game completely hooked me. And I really would love to see this as an actual card game. It's that good. It really is. So in the game, you play a group of survivors that is trying to run away from a frost wall that is chasing you. So imagine a big blizzard or a frost storm that's coming up from behind you, and you have 8 days worth of walking away or running away from this frost wall before it consumes you. The 8 days are counted on a timer, so every turn that you take in this game, you are losing a day. If you're not moving during that day, the daytime will reduce. So instead of 8 days, you'll have 7 days ahead of the frost wall, 6 days ahead of the frost wall. So every turn you want to move and move away from the frost wall. You have around 30 days worth, which is basically 30 turns worth of movement that you need to do before you get out of reach of the frost wall and get to safety. So in order to move on your turn, you need to fulfill a set of requirements that the game will provide you. In order to do that, you need to use the correct number of cards of a certain type. You have 4 different types of cards: food, fuel, exhaustion, and survivor cards. So on your turn, you will get a set of requirements that say it has 2 food, 3 fuel, and 4 survivors. You then need to use your cards in order to fulfill those requirements. So if there's 2 food, you need to place 2 food cards. You're only picking up approximately 5 cards in each hand that you have, and there's a certain amount of cards that you can have based on the discard pile that you create. You have a certain amount of cards all the time, and you're picking up from your discard pile. So essentially, you're just trying to place the cards. As soon as you fulfill the requirements, you can then leave, basically take that turn to move, or you have to wait another turn, and that frost counter will reduce, and you'll be one less day away from the frost consuming you and your fellow survivors. So that is a basic idea of the rules. However, there's a lot of different elements that come into play. There's cards that will show up that are wolf cards, and they will be attacking you on that turn. And if you move while you haven't killed that wolf already, that wolf will then attack you, and you have 3 life. If all of your life dies, you will die as well, as well as if the frost counter reduces. So you have to play with, is it worth taking a life here or taking away one of my survivors if I just move without killing this wolf? The wolf will keep chasing you until you do kill it, but depending on if you're in a pinch and you're a few days left, you might just have to take a couple hits just to avoid the frost wall from consuming you as well. In order to kill the wolf, though, there are many other cards that you can get that you can try to appease those requirements, and you will unlock those cards, add those to your pile of cards, and then you could then say you put together 2 fuel, which are basically lumber. You can then use those 2 fuel and say 1 survivor to create a staff or a spear to kill that wolf. You then kill that wolf will no longer attack you, and you can move ahead. There's a lot of little things like that add to the game. There's some that will then allow you to pick up different cards, or add 4 food instead of 2 food, or exchange 1 lumber for 3 food, and that's kind of how you play the game, and it kind of moves from situation to situation with every turn that you're moving, for every day that you're moving. It definitely picks up, but it has a nice slow kind of gradual increase, where the first 10 or so days you can try to build up your deck to be as effective as possible later on. Sometimes you're going to want to save some cards and just take a day anyway because you want to build up your deck appropriately. There's a lot of strategy into the game, and it really is addicting, and I love the aesthetic of the game. It's all white. Obviously, it's a whiteout. It has some of these very cool hand-drawn looking cards with these interesting kind of tribal this tribal aesthetic of the survivors and some of the food and the weaponry that you have. Another thing really cool about this, because the screen is largely white most of the time, it does have a night mode, which is pretty cool. It's not as cool looking in night mode, but it does help you when, say you're playing your Switch at night before you go to bed or something like that. You just want to play a quick card game. It's not so bright that it's like straining your eyes with how white the screen is. It'll be black with all the lines as a little bit of lighter shade so that you can see them all in a dark background as opposed to the white background of all the snow. But yeah, guys, as far as strategy games go, this is one of the best on Switch right now. I haven't played a game quite like it. And yeah, if you guys know of any other games that are like something like this, where it's like a single player card strategy game like this, definitely let me know, because I had an absolute blast with this game, and I'm still playing it to this day. So let me know what you guys think of this review in the comments, and I hope you guys all really enjoyed it and found something useful out of it, and I will see you all next time.